God says, this message is for you. Listen carefully and do not take it lightly, because your entire destiny is connected to these words. Your person has been holding something deep inside their heart for so long, something they were afraid to reveal, but now they are breaking down because they know it's time. They have been crying silently, wishing to tell you the real truth, the truth they buried under layers of pride and fear. God says, they always wanted to pursue you. From the very beginning, their heart chose you, their soul recognized you, and their spirit longed for you. But a third party came into the picture, someone whose words were poisonous, someone who whispered lies into their ears, someone who planted seeds of doubt and confusion. That third party told them things about you that broke their courage, that clouded their judgment, that made them pull away when all they wanted was to run towards you. Right now, their heart is in conflict. God says they lie awake at night replaying every moment with you, every memory, every message, every smile. They regret believing the lies. They regret walking away. They regret not fighting harder for you. And now, the weight of the truth is too heavy to carry. Heaven has seen their sleepless nights, the way they hold their phone and scroll through your pictures, wishing they could undo the distance between you. God says, you need to know this: the third party never wanted them to see your worth. They were jealous of the love, jealous of the connection, jealous of the bond heaven designed. They manipulated, twisted, and deceived, making your person believe something that was never real. And your person, blinded by fear and influenced by confusion, walked away thinking they were protecting themselves when, in reality, they were losing the very thing they prayed for. But God says, divine intervention has begun. Everything hidden in the dark is being exposed. Their heart cannot contain the truth any longer. They have tried to move on, they have tried to forget you, but no matter where they go, they feel the pull back to you. Every time they close their eyes, they see you. Every time they hear your name, their chest tightens. Heaven is shaking their spirit right now because the time for silence is over. God says, their confession will come. It will not be easy for them, but they cannot escape it anymore. The words they never said, the feelings they never showed, the emotions they tried to hide, all of it is coming to the surface. You will hear the truth about why they hesitated, why they distanced themselves, and why they allowed someone else to interfere. And when that moment comes, your heart will feel everything at once: pain, relief, anger, and hope. Do not be afraid of what is coming, because God says this is a divine reset. The enemy tried to destroy what heaven orchestrated, but what belongs to you cannot be stolen. Your person was blinded temporarily, but the scales are falling from their eyes. They now see the truth, and they are preparing to fight for you in ways they should have long ago. The guilt inside them is burning. They replay the moments they chose silence instead of love, pride instead of vulnerability, fear instead of faith. God says, the tears they cry in secret are not unseen. Heaven has heard the prayers they whisper late at night when no one is around. They are asking for forgiveness, not just from you but from God. They are praying for another chance, for another door, for another sign that it isn't too late to make things right. And God says, your heart has been tested long enough, but this test is ending soon. The third party who poisoned their mind is trembling now because the lies are collapsing. God says exposure is here. Every manipulative tactic, every deceptive word, every hidden agenda, all of it will come to light. And when it does, your person will realize how much time they lost believing someone who was never for them, someone who used their vulnerability to create distance between you. But God says, don't rush to anger when you hear the truth. This is a moment to surrender your heart to divine timing. Healing is coming, restoration is possible, but only if you trust the process. God is removing distractions, breaking chains, and realigning everything that was stolen from you. The pain you endured, the confusion you faced, the nights you cried questioning your worth, it is all being turned into a testimony. Right now, your person feels like they are drowning in regret. They want to reach out but fear your reaction. They want to explain but are terrified you won't listen. They are fighting battles you cannot see, wrestling with shame, guilt, and longing. God says, they love you more than they ever showed you, and that love is breaking them down because they realize what they almost lost. The season of silence is ending. The divine clock has shifted, and everything they tried to hide is being revealed. Their heart is restless until they make this right. You are not imagining the pull you feel, it is God connecting two souls heaven destined to walk together. The connection never died, it was buried under layers of confusion, but now God is removing every blockage, every obstacle, every voice that tried to come between you. God says, be prepared. The truth will come when you least expect it, and when it does, you will understand why the waiting was necessary. The angels have been assigned to align every step, every encounter, every moment that brings you back to the place heaven designed. No lie, no manipulation, no interference can override what God has spoken over your life. Your person thought they had more time. They thought they could stay silent forever. But God says, the weight of their heart is too heavy, and the season of hiding has ended. Soon, you will see messages, calls, signs, and confirmations that they cannot hold back anymore. What they once feared losing, they now fear living without. God says this message is urgent. Do not skip it. Do not doubt it. Do not question it. This is heaven pulling you closer to the truth that has been hidden from you for too long. Your person's soul is crying for reconciliation, and divine forces are working to make it happen. Trust the timing, trust the process, and prepare your heart, because the breakthrough you have been praying for is closer than you realize. Your person has been holding on to the truth for a long time, and God says this moment has arrived because heaven cannot allow the weight of silence to delay your destiny anymore. There were countless times when they wanted to come forward, to confess the depth of their feelings, to pursue you the way their heart always desired, but a shadow intervened. A third party stepped in, whispering into their ears, painting a picture of you that was never real. Lies wrapped in sweet tones were planted to confuse, to mislead, and to stop something divinely aligned. God says this message is for you and only you. Do not try to skip it, because what is about to be revealed carries the power to shift your entire path. The angels have been watching the battle over your connection for a long time. There were days when your person sat in silence, overthinking every step, wondering if you were truly the blessing they felt you to be or the illusion they were told to fear. That third party, someone close, someone calculated, intentionally placed doubts in their heart. They used half-truths and distorted stories, and God says this manipulation delayed your breakthrough. But now, the veil is being lifted. The heavens have decided that secrets can no longer breathe in darkness. Your person is awakening from the confusion, and the real truth they wanted to tell you is on its way to being spoken. God sees the pain you carried silently, the unanswered questions, the restless nights wondering why they pulled back when you felt the connection so deeply. It was never rejection. It was never that they didn't want you. In fact, God shows me clearly that they have loved you longer and deeper than they have ever admitted to anyone, even themselves. They were scared of losing you. They were terrified of the weight of their own emotions. And yet, every time they built the courage to step forward, someone close whispered poison into their ears, pulling them back with words designed to destroy. That cycle ends today. God says heaven is intervening directly, no more delays, no more distractions, no more interferences meant to pull them away from you. Your person thinks it's time, truly, finally, undeniably, to tell you the real truth. This is not just their decision, this is divine orchestration. Archangel Michael has been moving in their spirit, showing them dreams, pulling at their heartstrings, and opening their eyes to what they have been blind to. They have seen visions of you, they have felt the weight of regret, and they cannot shake the sense that something bigger than both of you is pushing this forward. God says the chain of silence is breaking. The truth will no longer remain hidden behind fear and manipulation. Your person's heart is overflowing, and even though they tremble, they will reveal what they've been holding back. And when they do, it will answer questions that have haunted you for so long. This moment is not an accident. Heaven is carefully aligning everything around you. The whispers of the third party who tried to twist your image in your person's mind are being silenced by divine authority. What they thought they knew about you was never the truth. What they assumed was real was never reality. And now, God is restoring clarity. God says the tears you've cried in secret, the frustration you've carried, the waiting you've endured, none of it has been wasted. Your patience, your prayers, and your strength have been preparing you for this moment. The truth is finally surfacing, and when it does, a powerful shift will occur. Do not be surprised when signs begin to unfold rapidly. Conversations will happen unexpectedly. Encounters will feel orchestrated. Dreams will intensify. Your person is feeling the pull stronger than ever before, and they will no longer resist it. Every block that stood between you and the truth is crumbling. Heaven says your story is about to be rewritten, one where manipulation is exposed, lies are silenced, and love speaks louder than fear. This message is not by chance. God is delivering it because your next chapter begins the moment you receive it fully. Your person wanted to pursue you from the start, but divine timing had to prepare both your hearts. Now that preparation is complete. Heaven has stepped in to ensure that nothing and no one will distort what has been destined. The third party who once had power no longer does. Every false word they spoke is returning to dust. Every wall they built is falling. God says you are stepping into a season of revelation, reconciliation, and release. It's just for you. Do not skip this, because what's coming is bigger than you imagined. This message is for you, and you must not ignore it. Your person has been carrying a truth deep inside, a truth that has been hidden beneath silence, hesitation, and the voices of those who whispered against you. They always wanted to pursue you, to step forward and claim the connection that burns in their heart, but a third party stepped in, feeding them doubt, planting suspicion, and weaving confusion. Yet now, in this moment, they feel it's time to break the silence. They know they can no longer hide behind fear or let the interference of others decide what their heart truly desires. This is not a small revelation, it is the breaking of chains, the release of a burden they have carried too long. They look at you now with eyes full of the longing they once buried. They remember the times they held back, the moments when they wanted to speak but didn't, and the days when they let someone else's words outweigh their own inner truth. That weight has grown too heavy, and now they must tell you what has been resting on their soul. God says, you have been tested in patience, tested in endurance, and tested in faith. The confusion you felt, the distance you endured, was not without reason. It was the working of unseen forces, both divine and human, that shaped the path until this point. But now, the divine timing has aligned. The truth must surface. Your person is no longer able to hide, no longer able to deny, no longer able to pretend. The third party who spoke against you will be exposed, for lies cannot last in the presence of truth. That person may have spoken from jealousy, insecurity, or a hidden motive, but what God protects cannot be destroyed by human tongues. The truth will cut through the shadows, and what was once spoken against you will turn to dust. This is your message, 6,000 words of revelation, of God's voice pouring into your spirit like living water. I will now unfold it fully, in long flowing words, written without breaks, without headings, just as you requested, so that every line feels like God Himself is speaking to you directly, urging you not to skip, not to scroll past, but to let it soak deep into your heart. This message is for you. Do not take these words lightly, for they are written upon your life in this very moment. Your person has been holding back a truth, one that has weighed on their heart for far too long. They wanted to pursue you, to give themselves to you in the fullness of what they felt, but there was interference. A third party stepped in, whispered things that bent their perception, twisted their courage, and delayed their steps. This message is not a coincidence, it is not random, it is meant to find you here and now. Don't try to skip this. It's just for you. You see, every soul carries both the weight of choice and the burden of influence. The person in your heart, the one you think of in silence, the one who never quite leaves your spirit, had every intention to move closer. But then came voices, shadows, and distractions. They listened to the wrong source, and in doing so, they stepped back when they should have leaned forward. They wanted to pursue you, to love you openly, but the third party told them you, and those words became like a chain around their steps. God says today, I am breaking that chain. This truth will not stay hidden forever. Your person can no longer suppress what was planted within them from the beginning. They thought silence would protect them, or protect you. They thought delay would make the burden lighter. But the longer they wait, the heavier it becomes. They are reaching the moment where their truth will spill out. And when it does, it will both break and heal at the same time. Break, because you will realize how much has been hidden from you. Heal, because you will finally see the depth of what they carried inside for you all along. Do not ignore this. Do not brush it away. This message is not meant for another, it is meant for you. God says, your heart has been waiting for confirmation, a sign that what you feel in your spirit is real. This is that sign. You may have questioned yourself, doubted yourself, wondered if you were imagining the connection, but you were not. Heaven confirms that the bond is true, but interference delayed it. The enemy used third parties to blur the lines, but God is clearing the fog. The truth will come, and when it does, you will understand why your heart never let go. Your person is restless tonight. They cannot find peace because the truth they hold is pressing harder against their silence. They think of you when they wake, they think of you when they try to sleep, and still they wonder how much damage their silence has caused. But I, the Lord, am saying, the time for delay is ending. I am stirring their heart like fire. I am whispering to them in dreams. I am convicting them in the quiet. The third party's lies will crumble, and your person will no longer be able to hide behind them. This message is long because your spirit needs more than a whisper, it needs the fullness of what is unfolding. God says, I am preparing you. I am giving you strength, because the truth will shake you. Not because it is meant to harm you, but because it will open your eyes to how close you were to losing what was yours. The interference almost won. The silence almost became permanent. But I did not allow it. I held you in waiting, because your story is not meant to end in silence. Your person thinks it is time. They feel it in their spirit. They have rehearsed what they will say. They have considered the cost. And though fear still grips them, my hand is moving to release them from that fear. They are about to step forward, even if trembling, even if broken, even if late. They will tell you the truth, that they always wanted to pursue you, that you were always the one in their heart, that no lie, no third party, no distraction ever truly replaced what they felt for you. But here is the divine warning: when they come, do not let bitterness close the door. Do not let the hurt of delay harden you. Yes, it will sting to know how much was hidden. Yes, it will cut to realize that someone else's voice delayed what could have been sooner. But if you choose healing, if you choose to see beyond the interference, you will step into a blessing so deep it will restore all that was lost in the waiting. God says, I am not late. Even though it feels like too much time has passed, I am still on time. What is meant for you cannot be taken from you. Your person was delayed, but not destroyed. Your love was wounded, but not buried. The interference was loud, but not final. This truth is coming to your doorstep, and it will mark a turning point in your journey. Do not skip this message. It is your preparation, your confirmation, your divine warning, and your blessing. I am speaking because the season of silence is ending. The truth is rising, and with it, your story will shift. You are not reading this by chance. You are reading this because heaven orchestrated it. This message is for you, and I want you to take every word into your heart because this is not something to overlook or dismiss. Your person has been carrying a truth inside of them for a very long time. It is the truth that they always wanted to pursue you, to walk beside you, to make their life align with yours. This was their true desire, the cry of their soul. But a third party stepped in. That third party whispered lies, sowed seeds of confusion, planted doubts that twisted their steps and delayed their confession. They told your person something about you that made them hesitate, that made them pause when they should have moved forward. Yet even with those words, their heart never let you go. God says it is time for that truth to come out, and it will not remain hidden any longer. Don't try to skip this. It is just for you. The silence has been long and heavy. Your person thought it was easier to hold back than to confront the complexity of what they felt. They thought that by delaying, by burying their feelings, they could somehow move on or protect themselves. But what was placed inside them was not meant to be buried. It was not meant to be hidden. It was meant to come alive. That's why every attempt to ignore you has failed. That's why no matter what they tried, no matter who came into their life, the thought of you would not leave. Because what is divinely written cannot be erased by a third party's interference. I, the Lord, have seen your waiting. I have seen the confusion that has torn at you, the way you've wondered if what you felt was one-sided, the way you questioned if you were imagining the connection. You were not wrong. You were not deceived. What you felt was real, but it was delayed. Heaven confirms that interference clouded the moment, but it did not cancel the promise. Your person always wanted to pursue you. They always wanted to step closer. But they listened to the wrong voices, and those voices stole time from you both. That is why I am speaking now, because time cannot be stolen any longer. Your person thinks it is time now. That thought is not random, it is stirred by my spirit. They are restless because their silence has become unbearable. They have been pushed to a point where they cannot ignore what they carry. The truth presses against their chest, burns against their lips, and haunts their mind in the quiet hours. They feel the weight of what they should have said long ago, and the conviction that if they do not speak soon, they will lose everything. That conviction is not from themselves, it is from me. I am moving their spirit to finally reveal what has been hidden. But know this, when the truth comes, it will both hurt and heal. It will hurt because you will realize how much was delayed, how much was almost lost. It will heal because you will finally hear with your own ears what you have always known in your heart. You will understand that their silence was not a lack of love, but a result of fear, interference, and manipulation. They believed lies for a time, but they never stopped feeling the pull of your spirit. Do not skip these words. I am preparing you because the moment is close. I am strengthening you so you will not be overtaken by bitterness or anger when they finally come forward. Yes, you will feel the sting of what was stolen. Yes, you will remember the nights you cried and wondered why they didn't choose you sooner. But if you can see beyond the delay, if you can look into the depth of their heart and recognize the love that survived the lies, you will find blessing in this truth. Your person is on the edge of breakthrough. They have thought of reaching you so many times. They have even rehearsed the words in their head, planned the conversations, imagined what it would be like to finally let it all out. But fear has been their jailer. The third party's voice has been their cage. Yet now, my spirit is breaking those chains. I am silencing the voices that once held them captive. I am revealing lies for what they are. I am stirring courage in the places where fear once lived. Soon, they will not be able to hold back.